Nothing is impossible when you see yourself as the magician. I want to share with you a story from my recent trip to Paris and London, and this one of the people that I met, many people that I met, but one of these wonderful people that I met along the journey when I was there, and the things that happened to her after I met her were incredible. And I'm also going to reference a book that I had finished reading before my trip called The Magician's Way, which was amazing, and the reference to it as well, because you guys are going to really love this story. So stick with me. For those of you who are new, or if you're returning, welcome. My name is Rose, and this is The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you can live the life that you want and deserve and love waking up to. If you are interested in joining the Rosey Life community and course, you can go to RoseyLife.com, where I show up live once a week and we dive into lessons and answer live Q&As every single week I show up. And then you have a 12-week course for you to do on your own time and interact with in my private community. So, also, if you're interested, the London retreat was amazing, and I'm so happy to be back. And now I'm looking forward to being in San Diego on February 6th for the Rosey Life retreat, where we're going to have an amazing time. It's going to be so magical because now I even know even more what to expect from the retreat. And then we're going to have a retreat in Chicago on March 6th. If you're interested in the retreats, just email me for all the information on the course and community, or for coaching, you can go to RoseyLife.com. All right, so as many of you know, if you watched my last video, I recently came back from London and Paris. And in London, I had the retreat, the first Rosey Life retreat, which was incredible. It just blew my mind. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of the London story and a little bit of the Paris story, because there's so many things that happened on this vacation that were completely unexpected and were just wonderful. Before I had gone on that trip, I had read a book called The Magician's Way, and it really is a wonderful way to learn about manifesting. There's just so many ways, right? There's so many perspectives, and it's really a great read and story about talking about how when you see yourself as a magician, you don't see anything impossible, but you really have to just let go of something of winning or losing, or fear of failing, and just go ahead and take the shot, right? And I'm going to be talking more about this book in some upcoming videos, but that's not what this video is about. So in London, I had the retreat, and it was so wonderful to be there, first of all, because I love London. One of the women that were in there, she shared with me a story literally the day after I left London and I took a train to Paris. She had contacted me and told me that all the things that she wanted were just happening to her, like within the hours the next day after I left London. So she wanted to get closer to her SP, because it was just kind of like a, not committed, there was just no closeness there, right? And the other thing is, her business was not doing well, and she was not bringing any money in with her business and her clients, and she was really struggling and forcing herself to advertising and do social media and those kind of things. And after I met with her and we really got down to what she loves, the next day her washing machine broke down. And she was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was feeling high, after the retreat, and then my washing machine literally just breaks down and is flooding my kitchen. And she found out that her business was removed by Google from the business ads. And she said, I didn't do that. I didn't ask for that. And she said she was really upset about her name being removed, because this is where people could find her to work with her. And she says, I don't know what is happening. And she reached out to me, and I said, you're shifting. Everything's changing. I said, you are a new version of you, so that version of you no longer is there. Well, that same day, within that same day, her SP contacted her and said, hey, just leave everything there and come over to my house and just come hang out with me for a few days. And she instantly was able to get closer to her SP. And within a matter of days, someone that she interviewed with last year, I think it was about 5 or 6 months ago, had out of the blue contacted her and asked if she would please sign on and work with their company and that they would hand feed her clients. She was blown away with all of these instant manifestations, because she did a lot of that internal shift that we do in the retreat. And really, it's about focusing on you as the authority, you as the I am. And we didn't do any techniques or any visualizing. We didn't do any affirmation, none of those things, right? It was really diving deep into knowing who you are. And this is what we do in the Rosey Life community and course as well. I really monitor the forum in there and not allow external links, because I want all the focus to be on you as the creator, you, and really just allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to know that this is you, who you are. You're invulnerable, right? Invulnerable means allow this human side of you just to take a seat and you show up in your power. So I just thought that was such a wonderful story that she shared with me, and she recently shared it in the community as well. And then in Paris, also, so part of the trip I had traveled alone, and then the part of the trip I was with someone. But the part of the trip in Paris, I was planning that to be alone. And I thought, this is incredible. This is amazing, right? I'm going to be in this wonderful city of love, and I'm going to be traveling solo, and me and my camera, we're going to go hang out. And if you want to know what kind of pictures I take, I am on Instagram. It's called Be in Love Photography. So if you're interested in looking at the pictures that I took on my trip. But anyway, so that's what I was planning. And there was a couple of times that I was like, gosh, it would be kind of nice to share this moment with someone. And as soon as I would think any thought like that, someone would approach me and talk to me or sit down next to me. I was invited. I got asked out on a date. I'm like, all of these things were happening as soon as I would just think a little thought like that. But one of the mornings that I sat in a cafe and had breakfast, this other woman who was also there traveling alone sat next to me, and we just instantly hit it off and started talking. Well, long story short, turns out that she was there not on vacation, but she had just moved there the day prior to me meeting her. She had just moved there from Berlin, and she was originally from Ukraine, and she had left her country, and she wanted to obviously get out of where she was and start a new life for herself. Well, she was in Berlin, it didn't work out, and she wanted to come to Paris, and she landed in Paris without a job, without a place to live, and with very little money. And the more that I talked to her, the more that I realized that this person is very focused and very determined to have a better life for herself. And she didn't even know what that meant. She knew that she liked teaching English. She wanted to maybe teach English. But other than that, she really didn't know what she was going to do or how she was going to support herself or where she was going to live. And she had no friends whatsoever in Paris. And here it is, this woman, right? She literally drops everything and comes to a new country without knowing French. She speaks Russian and Ukrainian and English very well. And here she is, and she said to me, I honestly am going to hope that today I'm going to go land a job, and I'm going to go apply for different places, and hopefully I get something. She said, because I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have any income coming in to pay for a place to stay. And I said to her, I spoke to her a little bit about the law of assumption. And I told her, I said, you don't need to know how it's going to work out. You don't need to know where the money's going to come from or the job's going to come from. I said, do you think that you met me by accident? And she said, no, I don't. She said, you are a magician. And it's funny because, as I mentioned before, I had just finished reading The Magician's Way, and she called me Rose the Magician, because by the end of that next day, I had met up with her again for dinner, and then by the next day, she woke up freaking out, and everything was going wrong, right? She didn't have the place that she thought she had to live. She wasn't available anymore. She was noticing that her funds were running out, and she was panicking and freaking out and thinking she was going to have to go back to her country. And she texted me and she said she was freaking out, and I said, it's okay to freak out. Go ahead and freak out. And so she allowed herself to freak out, and she was very, very smart. And she decided, you know what? Freaking out is not helping me. So what is the next step that I can do? The next natural thing that I could do is go have breakfast. I can't think if I don't have something in my tummy. So she just took the next step and had breakfast. And with the breakfast, she was able to calm herself down so that she could refocus again. So once she refocused, she had the idea to reach out to a local Ukrainian association in Paris. And through that same day, they provided her with a place to stay indefinitely. They provided her with assistance on getting her a work visa to get a job in Paris, and were even going to help her do that. And they provided her with anything that she needed for meals. So when I met up with her the last time before I flew back to the United States, she said, Rose, I learned a valuable lesson. And she said that nothing is impossible. Even though everything seemed like it was impossible and it wasn't going to work for me, she said, no, I had little money, no place to stay, no job, everyone was asking me for a work visa. I had none of these things, not even the language. She says, I still was able to manage to land every single thing that I needed for me to be able to stay here. She says, I learned that nothing is impossible. And she says, you are a magician. And I said, you are a magician too. We all are. Why? Because we don't have to have the evidence in front of us to know how things are going to work out. We don't have to have the 3D. The 3D can show you something completely opposite. Just like the lady in London, her washing machine broke down. They removed her business name off of Google, right? This person got thrown out of her, well, she wasn't thrown out, but this person's living thing didn't work out for her, right? It looked like she didn't have any money and that it wasn't going to work out, and people were asking her for their work visa immediately. It looked like everything wasn't going to work out for both of them, and it flipped on their head. Why? Because they both decided to slow down and remember, this is shifting. This is actually helping me. Now, does this mean that this is going to happen to you, that everything is going to fall apart before it looks like it's going to work together? No, not necessarily. This does not happen to me every time, right? So does it sometimes happen that it looks like it doesn't work out? Yes, but now when you see that and notice that things aren't working out, your job is to decide, how am I going to react to this situation? How am I going to react to this? It doesn't matter if it's lasted 5 minutes or it's been going on for 5 days or 5 weeks. How you react to what is happening means everything, because you'll either lean into what seems like it's not working out, right, by allowing it to be, or you try to fight it and pedal against it and try to affirm on top of it, or you like blast it and you say, well, this isn't working, it's not working for me. You have the opportunity right there to either speed things up or slow them down. You're never going to stop manifesting. Either way, you're going to continue to manifest. But these were both valuable lessons that nothing is impossible, that everything is actually working out for you. So I intend that this video is helpful, and I can't wait to read your comments below and to see what you guys got out of this for you as well. All right, my loves, thank you so much for being here and watching and liking my videos and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. I love you. Bye.